Okay, good evening, everyone. Um, wherever you may, wherever you may be, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. So, hi from England. Good to see you all. So, this is quite crazy. I'm actually sitting outside, and we're broadcasting live here from Siding Spring. Um, just give me feedback if you can hear me loud and clear, because sometimes the internet is a little bit shaky here. So just bear with me, and it should be fine. I'm just going to look at my screen now so I can, let's see, so you hopefully, let's see. I don't know if you can see me now. You should be able to see me now. Let's see. Is this actually working? I'm not sure. Wait a sec. Let me just ask them if I'm really streaming now. I just have to make sure. Can you see the scope? Oh yes, audio's clear. Okay. Okay, thank you. Because I apologize. It's not so easy out here to do all these things. Okay, you can. You see, the problem is there's a delay always between your by the time you hear it, already a minute has passed. So I apologize for that. I have to do a lot of improvisation. It's not as perfect as usual. So I'm dressed very warmly. We had an incredibly high humidity here. It was about 90%, and we had a howling wind. It was terrible. My lenses were clogging up, but it is very lucky, because hi there. So you can see me. That's good. So all's well. Suddenly it's become completely quiet. By the way, I am here in New South Wales, Siding Spring, and and I'm sitting outside. It's about 1 a.m. and I have this beautiful Milky Way, which I want to share with you. I have next to me two cameras pointing up at the sky. These are my own cameras. This is why this is a little bit of a different session. So this is not going through the telescope. I've connected my two cameras directly to the computer, and hopefully that'll all work. I just need to see what the live view, because I'd love to see what you're actually seeing. But I don't know if I can do that. But I assume the stream is actually working, and you're seeing me. I hope so, at least. Okay. One second, I'm just going to put my gloves on. It's a little bit cold, and then we'll get going. So I'm watching your comments, so please go ahead and chat and ask whatever you want. We have autumn here, by the way, and I'm going to show you a live view now. I'm going to show you a live view of the Milky Way. Hopefully you can see that the cameras are so sensitive nowadays that actually the DSLRs can pick up a live view. And where we're pointing up at the moment, I'm going to move the camera a little bit. I'm going to move the camera a little bit up and down now. Okay. Hi from Columbus, Ohio. Well, welcome to the Southern Sky. And tell me if you're seeing things or so, because I cannot see the stream at the moment. I can only see your comments, so I'm just hoping that everything is going well. And at the moment, my one camera is looking directly at the Milky Way. Why the Southern Sky Milky Way is so beautiful is because Sagittarius, that is the center of our own Milky Way, that is our own galaxy, looking from the outward spiral arm where we are on the Orion arm inwards towards where the center of the galaxy is, where there's a massive black hole. Okay, so I'm going to now do some magic. That's the live view, but it's going to get much more beautiful, because I'm going to switch live. I'm just going to explain to you whatever I do, so that when it gets dark, you'll know. Okay. I can see the Milky Way, but it's noisy. Exactly, it's noisy. Good. Thank you for the feedback. It's noisy, but no wonder. This camera is working at 60 frames per second, feeding in that. So it's incredible. And now I'm going to do it a lot nicer. I'm going to do a 15-second exposure. You're going to see darkness now. I'm going to switch live view off. You're going to hear a click. It's going to be a 15-second exposure. So I'm just going to walk to my camera now and switch off live view. So this gets, you heard it click, so it gets dark. And now I'm going to do a 15-second exposure. And here we go. You heard the click, and now we wait for 15 seconds in complete darkness. And then let's see what, by the way, all the images that I take today, I'm going to post, okay? So I hope it's going to be a treat for you. It's quite marvelous. Okay, so here's image number 1. You can see, by the way, the camera, you can see, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit for you so you can see a little bit more. But there you go. That is the view that you get within 15 seconds. And it is absolutely stunning, as you can see, because you can see the incredible thick layers of interstellar dust there, and then you can see very, very bright regions where new stars are being born, where there are emission nebula, and so on and so on. So they are really, we're looking at millions of stars. This is towards Sagittarius, where the center of our Milky Way actually is. And I'm going to zoom in actually on the picture, because this is a 20 megabyte picture actually. So let's zoom in and move it a little bit so you can actually see if the focus is okay. It looks okay. It actually looks fine. Yes, it looks fine. Yes. What is the lowest star magnitude you can make out at the moment? You know, in this image, I wouldn't know, but I think within 15 seconds you would easily go up to magnitude 16. Okay, I have no doubt it's possible. Okay, because the seeing is just so good here. Okay, hi from Toronto. So there we're looking very close to the direction of our Milky Way, and that was the center of our Milky Way. And I'm just moving up and down in the details of the picture so you can appreciate that. So I also have a is the image guided? No, it's not guided. That's a great question. It's not guided, and I'll explain to you why it's not guided. I just have them on a steady tripod. I'll get a little bit into detail. So let's see if I can share the image details with you. I'm not sure if that, in the dark it's sometimes not so easy to do this. They're somewhere. Where's the information window? 1 second. Okay, just hang on. We'll go through all the settings and I'll explain to you what I'm doing. Gosh, where's the information? Info? What is that? Ah, there you go. Yes, that's what I wanted to show you. Look at that. Beautiful. That is the camera information. So I'm using 15 seconds. You can see this is a f1.6. I'm running at 6000 for ISO, 6400 ISO. And what it doesn't tell you though is the type of lens that I'm using. And I'm using a 24 millimeter f1.4 Nikon lens. And so you don't need to guide. For 15 seconds you don't need to guide, because there's a very simple formula. You take the number 500 and you divide it by the focal length of the lens, which would be, let's say, 25, and that gives you a lot of seconds. Okay, so that is 4 times 5. That gives you at least 20 to 30 seconds. Okay, so which DSLR? I'm using a Nikon D5 here. This is a Nikon D5, and I have another one which we're going to use in a moment. It's the Nikon 810A. The 810A has an extended red, which makes it incredibly sensitive, and actually the reds come out much nicer than on the Nikon D5. The Nikon D5 is a 20 megapixel camera, and the other one that I'm using is a 36 megapixel camera. Okay, so it's quite beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so how can we see the Milky Way? If we're not in it, that's a great question. Okay, that's a great question. I'll answer that. In the meantime, let me just use the other camera to give you a little bit, a little bit of a wider view. So just hold on a second. I'm going to switch over and then I will answer your question, how it's actually possible, okay? It's a great question. Okay, you heard the camera clicking, so it's working now. So the way it works is we are on the outer arm of a spiral galaxy. Okay, it's called the Orion arm, or between the Orion and Perseus. There, by the way, you can see the beautiful picture. Let me just I'm just going to leave it and just explain it, and then I'll try and expand the picture, because this is actually how we see the Milky Way. And we know since about 100 years now that we where the center of our galaxy is, and I actually gave a session look at the one on globular clusters, and they actually found out by looking at the globular clusters, they know that globular clusters are always around the center of a galaxy. We found out where we actually are. And the thing is, we know that there are approximately 100 to 400 billion stars in our own galaxy, but the stars that you actually see in the Milky Way are all within our own spiral arm, okay? So everything that you see in magnitude 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on actually belongs to our own spiral arm. As you then move to the next spiral arm, you are actually inhibited by dust and so on. Just the dust that we're seeing there is obscuring most of the stars, okay? So it's a great question. We're only seeing a small fraction of what is actually possible, and that's why they're using infrared technology in telescopes to look right through to the right through to the center where there's a massive black hole, and they can actually study stars that are not obscured by dust, very close to the center, and they study the movement, and thereby they know that that is the center. It's a great question, okay? Not an easy one, and that was a big question for astronomers. I think it was Shapley who solved the problem. I think it was him. Okay, fine. So let me just give me a few a moment just to see if I can change the settings there from the camera, so I can get rid of the silly histogram here, which we certainly don't need. 1 second. How do we get rid of this? How do we get rid of this? That is sometimes a problem. Oh dear. Come on. And now it's zooming in, but I'm not getting rid of the histogram. 1 second. So that is most irritating. Just give me a minute, because how do we get rid of this? That is the question. Let's see. Should be a way. Now that's an old picture. Hang on, here, that's our picture. Now I managed it. Finally, sorry about that. I finally managed to do it. Okay, great. How do you use the histogram to set up the picture? That's a great question. Usually it's not a big deal. I'm just going to clean the front of the lens from some humidity, because as long as the pixels don't saturate, okay? If we do too long an exposure, the pictures will saturate. If I do too long an exposure, you can actually see the local time and everything on this, the timestamp. then you will see the trails, the star trails, okay, but it's not a problem. Usually I don't pay much attention to the histogram when I do the Milky Way, because I have and I'm going to get into details. The color temperature I usually set is at 4,550 Kelvin, so the white balance is set by recommendations that professional astronomers use. So 4550 Kelvin is usually the white balance, and then I just look at the exposure. As long as nothing is overexposed, we're fine. Okay. Now histogram, it's a great question. So let me just clean the lenses, okay, because I think we can do even better than this. 1 second. Okay, very nice. And if you have can you see the image? Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, because what I want to do actually is I want to change lenses. 1 second. There you go. That looks a little bit. I wonder, is it properly focused? Let me just check the focus again. Let me check the focus. Yeah, I might just. That's so hi from BBC. That is great. Wonderful to have the BBC here. Well, I can tell you, it's great to have the BBC here because. 1 second. Get my microphone. It's great to have the BBC here because actually Professor Brian Cox was here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was helping the BBC. There was a girls' school, and I was actually helping the girls to get some images with a telescope, and I basically taught them. They were so incredibly intelligent that in no time they were running the telescopes themselves, remote telescopes, and doing beautiful images. Okay, so it was really, really wonderful. So it's good to have you here, Solar Sphere and Astro Radio. So what we're actually doing here, this is really a live show. The only thing. I wish it would have gone a little bit better, because I wanted to put another lens on. I want to put the wide field lens on, but we had incredible humidity up to about an hour ago. Can you show us in live view? Yes, I'll show you in live view. I will. 1 second. I'll show you. I'll go back in live view. So the cameras I have is a Nikon D5, and I'm using a Nikon D810A. The Nikon D5 is the one that is best to use in live view, and I have a very, very fast lens on it. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then what I wanted to do is actually put a fisheye on the other one so that you can see the whole Milky Way in one go. I had to actually remove Bonjour de Montréal. Bonjour. I had to remove the fisheye because the lenses, the humidity was so high, it was condensing on the lens, so you go crazy. You're trying to be producer here, broadcaster, narrator, everything at the same time. Okay, but now the wind has died down, so it's much, much better. It's really very pleasant. So yes, I will go to live view now. Okay, I'll do that. 1 second. Let me just switch to the live. Which camera would that be? Yes, 1 second. Okay, there you go. That is a live view. That is indeed the live view of Sagittarius, and this camera indeed looks very well focused. Okay, 1 second. Just get my microphone here again. So this camera looks very well focused. It is amazing that you can actually pick this up at a frame rate of of 60 frames per second that you can pick the Milky Way up live. Okay, so that's how sensitive equipment that you can get off the shelf is capable of doing. The ISO is running about must be about 1 million ISO. It's crazy numbers. Of course, you can see a lot of noise in it, but that's normal. Okay, this is not cooled or anything, but it's still remarkable. I'm going to move the camera now along the Milky Way so that you can actually at least get excuse me, get an appreciation of the dimensions that we're seeing. And if I can quickly run to the camper van and get out my fisheye lens, if you have the patience, then I can show you the whole Milky Way in one go, because the humidity now has finally disappeared. So one second. Okay, well, where am I pointing now? Has anybody got an idea where I am now? I have basically moved in this beautiful, go for it. Okay, I will go for it. You know what? I'm going to take a picture, let you admire the beautiful picture, and I'm going to put the fisheye lens on the other one. So if you have the patience and the time, I will do it. In the meantime, so that is. Can you guess where I am now? I don't know if anybody of you can guess what we're actually seeing here, but I'm going to take this picture now, and then maybe you'll understand it. Okay, so I switched off live view, and now I'm going to take a picture. There, you heard the click, and here we go. Southern Cross, you are right. Very good, Jürgen. It's the Southern Cross, absolutely. the most beautiful symbol here that they've used for navigation. So there we go. There we go. It's an incredibly beautiful region. As I said, I'm going to make all these images available. And what I'm going to do now, so I'm going to disappear for a few minutes. I'm going to run over to my camper van where I've got all my equipment in. I'm going to go and get the wide field lens. So don't go away. Just admire the picture. I'm going to. It's yeah. It's actually very beautiful. So just hang on, okay? I'll be back. Okay, I'm just going to dismantle the camera quickly. Let's see which. Okay, so hang on. 3 minutes. Get my lamp here. Where is my big lamp? Okay, let's see now. One. Okay, I've changed lenses. That's very good. I'm just going to, I have to just wipe the lens. How are you all doing? I wish I can see, come over and help you. Yeah, you know, this is doing everything at the same time. Very kind of you, but I will, let's see, where is my lamp? Here it is. Okay. Oh. Okay, very good. This is going to be much, much better. The lens is still a bit humid because we had such high humidity, but I think this is still going to work. Let's see. So, there we go. Let's see. I just have to focus on something and get the focus right. Make sure. Let's see how it is. Okay, I'm going to put it on the Southern Cross. So just hang on. Let's see. So this is going to look. Okay, I'm going to switch over now and see how if the camera is very much out of focus. I wish you could help. Yeah, it would be wonderful to have some help. Actually, it would. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Okay, let me just zoom in and see how good the focus is. Yes, now you can really appreciate. So what I'm using now is a wide. The structure of the dust looks very different in Northern Hemisphere. Yes, it does, and that's a great comment. And there's a lot we can say about that. The dust. The dust features are very, very distinct in the Southern Hemisphere. That's what makes it so incredible. So you can actually see that's the house where I'm staying. If you look carefully on the left, that's the camper van. That's what I'm traveling through Australia with, and I have to leave back for Canada in a few days. And you can see this is much, much better to see because we can now zoom into the Southern Cross. You can actually see the structure of the emu, and let's see if I can show that to you with an arrow. Yes, I can. Nice. 1 second. Okay, good. Good. You see where the arrow is? That is the head of the emu. And you really see that in 3 dimensions here. It's quite incredible. And as you move up this way, okay, you can see that is the body. That is the body of the emu, okay? So this is really incredible. If you were sitting here where I am, you can virtually see this, right? The structure of the dust looks, yes, that's right. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in and let's have a look and see where the Southern Cross actually is. So the Southern Cross is easy to find, first of all, because it is so distinct, and you can see here are the pointers of the Southern Cross. This is Alpha and Beta Centauri, okay? I'm going to see. That's maybe a little bit too far. Yes, this is exactly what I wanted to show you. This is exactly what I wanted to show you. This, I presume that the coal sack, yes, that is exactly right. That's exactly what I wanted to show you, is the beautiful coal sack. Exactly right. And what you see here, this very red part, is the famous episode 2 or 3, where I showed the beautiful emission nebula. It's 7,500 light years away, the Eta Carina. And as you correctly pointed out, the dark part that you see next to the Southern Cross, that is the coal sack. And by the way, near the coal sack is also the jewel box, the beautiful jewel box. This makes it difficult to express, but how much of the detail are you going to get in the photo that you're seeing with the naked eye? No, that's a very good question. The photo sees, the picture, of course, sees a lot more. What the difference between the eye and the camera is the eye is receiving photons per second. So we are not integrating photons, whilst a camera can collect them. They are basically collecting photons, and thereby the sensitivity is much, much larger. If I look up, you can actually make out the Eta Carina nebula. You can, but you will it is very difficult to see the colors, okay? So already the camera is picking up so much more details. It's a great question. So already within 15 seconds, the camera is by far superior to anything we ever see. If you have very good eyesight, you can probably see up to magnitude 7. Okay, usually we can say very, very faint dim stars are magnitude 5, but there are people who can see magnitude 6, magnitude 7. I have a friend who has got such good eyes. He's the best visual astronomer I've ever seen, and he can look even beyond 7. Okay, so some people with exceptional eyesight can see. Of course, we are picking up here magnitude 9, 10, 11, 12 stars. Okay, that you cannot possibly see with the eye anymore. Okay, so very interesting. Okay, and that is exactly what was previously mentioned, the coal sack and the Southern Cross. So here we go. There it is. That is the beautiful coal sack. Okay, so it's a very, very dense, dark, cold nebula, and that is very important. All spiral galaxies, especially the outer arms, that's where we are, have these birth centers for new stars that become very blue. So sometimes it seems contradictory. We would say, well, if it's red it's hotter and blue it's cooler. No, it's the other way. If you turn on your stove, it first becomes red, and then if you turned it on further and further, which you can't really, it would slowly turn to a bluish color. Okay, very, very interesting. So anyway, it's great that we have that now. So I would like to take this the same wide field camera and actually point it right back at Sagittarius, which is the center of our own galaxy. So let's do that. I'm going to go back to live view. Now, as you see in live view, you can't really see anything here. Very nice. Okay, you're still seeing the arrow there. I'm just going to remove the arrow. There we go. And now I'm going to switch off live view. There we go. And now let's do an exposure. Okay. So now it's going to be interesting. So this is a fisheye camera, 60mm fisheye f2.8. Very beautiful old lens, by the way. Most people don't know what to do with fish eyes, but you see beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It comes out. There's there again is my camper van on the side. And let's zoom in. Okay, very nice. So what is interesting is, do you see? Hang on, I'm going to see if where my arrow is. No, not that arrow. This arrow. This arrow. This here. This here is a planet. It's Saturn. Okay, it's Saturn at the moment. If I have located it correctly, that is Saturn. Looks a little bit yellowish, and Saturn is actually surprisingly close at the moment to the galactic center. So when you find Saturn, you would just have to move a little bit upwards, and let's see, about approximately here, somewhere around here is the galactic center where the black hole is. I would have to zoom out a little bit more to find it. Let's see if I can make it out. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, unless there's an expert here who can correct me, I think the galactic center is very close to where I'm pointing at the moment. Okay, so that is the center where Sagittarius is. Okay. Saturn is low, and yes, that's correct, and almost impossible to observe from my location. Yes, that's completely correct. And here, it is way up. In fact, it is almost in the zenith here. It is, you won't believe it's about 80 degrees up. Isn't it crazy? It is so high up, and no wonder you can't see it, because we're so close to the galactic center here. And of course, you know, the seeing for Saturn at the moment is absolutely outstanding, right? So that's a great comment. By the way, Jupiter we saw early in the evening. Jupiter was still there, also very, very well visible, and I wonder how that is from the northern hemisphere, Jupiter at the moment. But Saturn is clear that it would be very difficult to see. That's a great point. Good. So that actually covers the Milky Way. So what I think we should do is zoom out. Let's see. And I'm going to point this a little bit more, to get a little bit more of the arc. I'm going to point it up a little bit more. Okay? Come on. There we go. That's it. Okay, hopefully that will work. Let me just get rid of this arrow, and now I'm going to take another exposure just to get a better picture here. Okay. So this is again about 15-20 seconds. Yeah, that is a lot better. That is a lot better. Let's see. Actually, that is beautiful, because you can see a lot of the, if I read this correctly, that could be the Lagoon Nebula that we're looking at there. This red in the middle, and I'm quite sure that the Trifid Nebula is not far from here either. But it's quite incredible. I have actually taken yesterday exposures of the whole sky for the whole night, 40 megabyte files of every 30 seconds. So I have about 6 to 7 gigabytes of data that I have to transform into a beautiful, into an incredibly detailed time lapse. Okay. Jupiter is currently spectacular in the northern hemisphere. Really? Ah, okay, Southern California, that is very possible, of course. Yes, no, that's Jupiter for sure. Yes, Jupiter you would see. From Sydney, Saturn is at altitude of almost 64 degrees now. Thank you. So it's 64. That's right. So we are very close to Sydney, so it would be 64 degrees. Thank you for that comment. That's great. That's great. So yeah, that looks about right. 60, 70 degrees is what I would have thought. Very good. Well, anyway, so that sort of brings me to the end of a show, and I hope you enjoyed. Let's see. Let's just zoom out. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Milky Way live. I will certainly make the images available. I'll clean them up a bit and make them a bit more spectacular, and I may add an image from yesterday on to it where the scene was just a little bit better than now. And well, hopefully it'll inspire you to come to the Southern Hemisphere. This is an incredibly interesting area. As I've said, the BBC has been here with their sky shows, with their sky tours a few weeks ago, and they have made a beautiful spiral galaxy there, which I would love to show you, but I can't show that to you on YouTube because YouTube doesn't have a mobile app yet. I would have to go there with a mobile phone. At least I don't think they have it. So I would have to use Periscope. I've done it on Periscope, so you can actually see that, right? Enjoy it first time. Watch next week. Well, great. Well, thank you, Gordon. Thank you, all of you. You loved it, Solar Sphere and Astro Radio. I'm so glad you did, and I hope it inspired you to look up and really enjoy the spectacular skies. Very, very nice. Okay, thank you so much. So I'm just going to see now how I can actually end the stream because I've got so many buttons here. Stop streaming. Here we go. Okay, very good. Thank you all for being there, and give me a few days and I will make the images available under episode 10. To just use this link and we'll be right back. Okay, in a few days. Give me 5-6 days. When I'm back in Vancouver, I'll make the images available and you'll have a download link in the text. Okay, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.